side hustles, businesses,
side projects,
side jobs, anything on the side. And I feel like you guys are like kind of living your dream. I don't know if you're aware of it.
I'm not aware of it,
but I'll tell you now.
I'm living my dream.
You are living your dream because...
Welcome to the Asian Soup Podcast.
This is your co-host Jules.
And this is your co-host Rox.
The Asian Soup Podcast is your safe space on the internet where we share and discover real stories.
We chat about a range of topics from personal growth, mental health, TV shows, and much more.
Come sit with us
and get nourished.
That intro, every time I say it, I pause. I'm like, are we a safe space on the internet? I think we are.
I think we are.
Well, we try and make it super cozy.
I feel safe right now.
Oh, I feel so safe too.
Do you feel safe in this room?
I do.
This cozy little room, I feel like it's like a little safe bubble.
Yeah, check out our YouTube channel to see how safe our space is. But yeah, we also say that we want to share stories.
Yeah.
I hope we're doing a good job with that.
Sharing stories can seem a bit vague. Like, what stories are we sharing? You know, and I guess it's just kind of me and you sharing mini snippets of our lives and sharing with each other.
Yeah.
As new friends.
I think so.
And getting to know each other more.
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, I feel like doing that has made me learn a lot about myself. It's a lot of reflection goes into our episodes. I feel like we dig deeper or even after the fact that we put something out. Like today I was listening to one of ours again in preparation.
Really? Ooh.
And it just makes me think about things differently. Or maybe I say something weird and I'm like, I wonder why I think that. Or I shouldn't have thought that. Or something, you know, just little things. I'm like, yeah, it's been really fun.
Can you share with us like which episode you were listening to and what your little revelation was?
Yeah, I was on a walk and I was just listening to Beauty Standards again because I thought it was such a fun episode and easy to listen to. And I really liked our energy in that one. So I always feel like that's like the energy episode that I want to replicate.
Okay.
But then when I was listening and when you were saying, why is that the question? Like that shouldn't be the question we ask. Because when I was saying, oh, why do we get hair on our finger? Or why do we get pimples on our backs or something? We were talking about gross stuff.
Yeah.
In relation to beauty. And I was like, oh yeah, I hate it when I get that. Why do we even get that? And you were like, no, that's not the question. The question should be, who cares? Like, why does it matter that we get that? We're human. And I was like, oh yeah, she's right. Like we're asking the wrong question when we think about beauty and the self-talk that happens on a day-to-day basis without you knowing. You know, when you look in the mirror, like the question shouldn't be, oh, why is my skin so bad? Or I don't know. Could be anything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it just got me thinking.
Yeah. No, that's a reminder for myself as well because, you know, that everyone feels unhappy here and there when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, why do I look like this? Or why is it so hard for me to like, why am I so fat or whatever, right? But yeah, like actually asking why you think like that and why it bothers you so much.
Yeah.
Those are like the more deep questions, I think. And just figuring that part out can actually make you not even care anymore. You're like, just accept yourself. I listen to our podcast too. I'm a big fan of our podcast.
We listen to other podcasts too. But yeah, how have you been lately?
I've been good. I started a new job and...
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I came back from a trip from Tasmania. And yeah, so I'm feeling like there's a lot of change happening in my life right now. But I think I'm feeling I'm feeling good. And yeah, lots of time to just reflect and chill out and, you know, think about this podcast as well. Obviously, I have a lot of time because yesterday I went into our Notion and just like reorganized everything and made it cute. Yeah. I just love doing stuff like that.
It's very cute. It's I love it. We should put a little screen recording or a screenshot of the homepage.
I was actually thinking like, should we share it on YouTube? Like our setup? Like would people be interested in how we project manage?
Oh, well, we could share a template or something, right?
We could.
Like people do that. Yeah.
I just love the way you think.
Yeah, take our template from here, from this link. But I don't know about our little notes though, because sometimes I might write something stupid in there.
No.
But or we could have another page that is shared.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you had your own journal one before. Well, private, but friends only.
Notion is the best.
Love Notion.
It keeps us organized and, we have lots of different, both Rox and I, we balance a lot of stuff in our day-to-day.
Yeah.
And that kind of relates to this topic.
Today's
episode, which is about just, side hustles, businesses,
side projects,
side jobs, anything on the side.
All the side dishes.
All the side dishes with your soup. I'm only really doing the podcast at the moment as like my side thing. Actually, I do have like a blog, which I kind of neglected. But you have like two kind of like more serious, not serious, but like more substantial businesses, I would say, that you're operating with a full-time job.
Yes.
Firstly, what are the two things that you do, and number two, how do you do it?
Okay.
Okay.
The first thing that I do is kin. I think, if you've listened to this podcast before, I've talked about it a little bit. I started kin in Hong Kong with one of my best friends, Kendra. She's still based in Hong Kong, and then I'm now based out of Sydney. So the goal for me now is to kind of grow the Aussie market and audience. I haven't done that great of a job yet, but I feel like, with COVID and everything and all the rain, like I don't know. I just need to get out there more and kind of find other opportunities or other ways to get to our Aussie customers.
So kin is a sustainable
women's wear clothing brand. How we're sustainable is that we generally use dead stock fabrics. So dead stock fabrics is like surplus fabrics that it's already made. We're not getting new fabric made. Usually it's like leftovers of, big companies that order a lot. And then we kind of just use the leftovers and create very limited quantities. One, it's just that we don't want to have excess stock. We don't want to be sitting on stock. And two, we just don't want to overproduce. Like we're just happy to make enough for the people that want it, and we just want to make things that we actually like to wear. So Kendra's the designer and creative director. So we're in sampling mode right now for a few more styles. We don't have we're not the traditional mode where we have like a lot of collections a year. We just have a few items that we think are cute and want to wear and hopefully other people want to wear. So we're coming out with a few more dresses and
can't wait.
Working on some tops. So I'm really excited about that. But it definitely takes a lot of work. For me, I work more on the e-com side, like social, like marketing, brand stuff and admin stuff. And then, Kendra does more of like production, sampling, and more product and design. But that was just, how did that happen? We used to work together at a company in one of my first roles in Hong Kong. And we would just have lunches together and breaks together. And we'd be like, what is your dream? Like, what do you actually want to do? Because we both have a background in fashion design. She studied in New York and I studied in Sydney, and she was like, I really just want to start a brand and design stuff I want to design. And I was like, I want to start my brand, but I don't want to design.
Oh my God, perfect.
And I was like, can you let's do this. Like, let's start this thing you want to start, but you do all the creative stuff and I'll do like the store and other, business side of things. In the end, the business side of things we both have to kind of do, and we're always like checking in on each other on say what I need to do versus what she needs to do. And we just, find a middle ground that we like, and then we go from there. So we've worked really well together. I think we're very lucky that we found each other. We hardly have had a fight. I don't know how. It's just that, if we don't like something, very similar to me and you, if we don't like something, we just won't go for it. You know, if it doesn't feel right, we just won't do it, and we'll just, move on, find another solution. So that's how Kin started. It actually took a while before we could actually have product out, because it was a super huge challenge to find manufacturers that could make the limited quantities that we make, because it's all about MOQ, so minimum order quantity, which is, sometimes in the hundreds. And, if you want to get your costs low, like fast fashion, which is what we don't want to be, then you need to make more, right? And then, it's interesting, and definitely a learning with setting pricing, putting in our own money. But it's such a good feeling to actually create something physical, someone liking it and buying it and then wearing it. It's like, it's such an old school way of, it's like, it's something I can give to you, right? So it's a nice feeling, but it's definitely very challenging. Yeah.
I know you get so excited when you do your orders, because Rox has to do all the wrapping.
Yeah.
So if you buy a dress or a top from Kin in Sydney, Rox has touched that, guys.
Yeah, and we just like our little details, even though there's a lot of packaging that comes with shipping and e-commerce these days, I think. And then it's interesting to navigate, should we have a box or should we have things and this and that? But it's really nice to have a little thank you card that we write ourselves. That's something that we like to do.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
So it's been really fun, and hopefully it continues, and can see it grow a little bit.
I didn't know you have more dresses and tops. I want to see.
This year.
Soon.
So with hopefully in the next few months. Stay tuned.
Wow. So exciting.
Yeah.
It's so cool when you talk about your fashion side, because it's such a big part of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so glad you have that, you have Kin, because it keeps you connected to fashion.
Yeah.
Which was like your first love almost.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, when we were talking about the career transitions, my real life full-time job has nothing to do with it, really. It's completely different. I'm out of the fashion industry for the first time now, and it feels very nice that I still have something on the side that I can call my own, and that, everything is on. There is a bit of pressure though, because it's, it's under our name. So it's like, if anything is good or bad, it's on us. So it's our decisions and things like that. But it's still, at least it's your own thing. So you can do whatever you want, right? And if it fucks up, if something happens, it's like, it's still you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it's still,
ownership.
Yeah, you have ownership over it. Like, and whatever, we're always learning. Even the tiniest thing, it's like, wow, we did that. So every little thing, we're like, oh, we did it. So
and I feel like you guys are kind of living your dream. I don't know if you're aware of it.
I'm not aware of it,
but I'll tell you now.
I'm living my dream.
You are living your dream, because when you and Kendra had that initial conversations about why you wanted to do Kin and your mission statement behind it, basically your why and your goals, you've actually hit all of them, I feel. Because you guys both wanted to create a brand that you guys are both proud of, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's sustainable. And that is exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've actually hit all your goals.
Yes. Yes. It's taken some time to get there, but yeah. When you say it like that, then yes, we have. And I am very proud of us. Even just, the decisions for being as sustainable as you can, because at the end of the day, when you're creating a new piece of clothing, it's still, you're creating something new. So it's not 100% sustainable. You know, like if you're being 100% sustainable, then you wouldn't buy any clothes. You just wear your own clothes and, you know, never buy anything or, you know, grow your own vegetables in your garden and, you know, not interact with society and do everything. But I think what we're trying to do is just encourage that change in mindset with consumers, and everyone is changing already, which is very promising, I think, and just changing that mindset of you don't have to buy something every season, or it's nice to buy something that you know someone that actually put a lot of effort into them and you're supporting their small business, or you know that this fabric isn't you know, synthetic or blah blah blah. Like there's a lot of little things that we've had to say no to that would have made sense as a business. Do you know what I mean? Like
you would have saved costs.
Yeah, like there's cheaper fabrics out there. There's, you know, synthetics out there that we could use, but we're like, oh no, we can't use that. We have to choose the more expensive one to, just stay in line with the brand and what we wanted. And there's definitely sacrifices. Yeah, being an alternative to fast fashion is where we're at right now, and just any support is kind of like, it's nice that people are thinking that, you know, you don't have to go to Zara and buy that dress, or, you know, there are really creative small businesses out there in all industries. So fashion is a huge polluting industry, but it's so ingrained with our everyday and our self-expression, who we are. But then consumption is just this whole like monster. So it's very hard to fight inside, like just as a human, right? Like, or just, it's like, oh, you know, feeling good about yourself and shopping, and I don't know, it's just like a very big topic. I don't know how to describe it. How do you feel about like, have you changed how you shop? And like, because I think when we're young we just shop like what's cheap, right? I think I used to just shop anything that's on sale, and I would do like a little shopping spree. Like go to the shopping center, go hit up all the shops that you normally go, and just, it wasn't really about like, oh, what is my style and how do I like, I never really shopped for like occasions. I just bought whatever's on sale. That's like in your 20s, I guess. And then I think I watched a documentary, or I can't exactly remember what the catalyst was, but I decided not to support fast fashion anymore, like completely. So what I did was I just stopped shopping, and I only started shopping from op shops. And I was actually like looking for sustainable brands, and I was looking on Etsy, for example. Like I just wanted like handmade clothes. I wanted something like kin, no joke. And I couldn't find it, and it was getting to the point where I just couldn't find clothes anymore, because I put this like immense pressure on myself to buy everything that's sustainable. It was to the point where like, it was hard. It's still hard because it's not in the shops.
No,
right,
So, and any like sustainable brand was also super expensive.
Like
triple the price.
It's very expensive.
And for a young person, like in your 20s, you don't have all the money to like, you know, buy expensive sustainable sustainable brands.
Exactly.
So to be honest, like, like I had a complete change, and I did a lot of op shop shopping. And then now I've come to the point where I'm like, you know what, like that was so stressful. That part of my life was so stressful. I just want to be able to wear what I want to wear. So now I shop from Uniqlo.
I love Uniqlo. Like, so they just have good basics. But
they got good basics, and I just love being able to, I don't know, like I like wearing things that are like in fashion, I guess, or that look cool in my eyes. And of course, if I could buy everything secondhand, I would. But yeah, to be honest, like it was too stressful for me.
Yeah.
But I do want to like I love buying from Patagonia, for example.
Yeah.
Because they're like fully sustainable.
Good quality as well.
Good quality.
Yeah.
And also they do like unlimited repairs, like repairs for life.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. So I do want to, I do try and like have some kind of like capsule wardrobe, I guess, and buy things that I really need. So I feel like I'm just doing it in my own way, not doing the whole extreme thing where I'm like only buying from op shops or using no plastic. Like that was just too stressful because at the end of the day, I'm just one consumer. It's actually like the bigger companies that need to make the changes.
Yeah, exactly.
Why am I carrying all this stress on my shoulders? I'm just one person.
Yeah.
You know, why am I like losing sleep over this? So
Don't lose sleep over it. I think every little thing counts. Like I'm not saying like don't buy fast fashion at all. Like sometimes it's hard to avoid, but I think it's more like I'm still learning about it, and me and Kendra are always still learning how to be better, how to message things better, or align with things better in our brand and in our own lives, because you know, we'd be lying if we're like, we can't be, you know, running Kin and then, you know, shopping at Zara or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it just doesn't, even we've like changed, and, but it's also just the mindset of like how to take care of your clothes. So even if I have something from years ago from when I did shop at Zara, or back in the day when I have this American Apparel jumper and I still wear it because it's still pretty good. Like it's nothing's wrong with it. Or if there's something, try to resell it, or, you know, just give it to someone that will, you know, wear it. So it's just like how to take care of what you already have. Doesn't mean you have to throw everything away or anything. It's just, you know, take care of your stuff and make the most of it. And
yeah, I think finding that right balance. I was just too extreme. Like, I went way too extreme, and to the point where I just didn't even have any clothes anymore. And I would just be cold all the time. Like in winter, I just don't have enough clothes because I don't know where to buy things from. You know? So I think having these like sustainable brands, even if it's small or bigger, like it's really good to have more and more options of this, because it's like you're part of this movement.
Yeah.
And creating options for consumers who don't know where to shop other than an op shop. So I think it's really great what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, no, I was just about to say the second thing is this podcast. This is my other side project that I've started with you. So I think everyone already knows how we started, but
episode 1, guys.
Episode 1. I don't know, I guess both the partnerships. So I don't know, I like doing things with people or other women. I think there's just more things we can bring to the table together, and I feel like I have a little buddy and a team to work with. Yeah. How do you balance both? It's actually, I'm still trying to figure that out. Today is usually my Kin day, and I'll have like a call with Kendra and catch up on the to-dos for the week and what we've worked on and stuff. And then with you, we, you know, usually do episode planning or some social posts, or I'll work on more creative stuff. So yeah, I feel like with Asian Soup Podcast, I'm doing the more semi-designy stuff, like, you know, the artwork and thinking of new ideas and stuff. I've put a bit of my creativity to there, whereas Kin is more like my marketing brain. They definitely bring me joy in different ways.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's good though that you're doing slightly different things. Otherwise it'll get boring if you're doing the same role for both projects.
Yeah. Like I don't think I would want another fashion label, you know. It's nice that it's something different. How about you? You said right now it's podcast. How are you balancing this right now?
I definitely like work in waves. So I just try and ride these waves that I create for myself.
Yeah.
Just riding it.
Yeah.
And what I would
You've been on like a big wave.
Yeah, and I think my wave, I'm trying to like figure my wave out as well, because I want to be able to be more consistent. I don't want to be like on, off, like, so I would like to reach some kind of more consistent flow. But yeah, what I mean by wave is like just like the amounts of work I do. Sometimes I'm just like so motivated and I just get so much stuff done and I have lots of ideas flowing. And then sometimes I'm in more of a rut. I wouldn't say like with the podcast I've been in a rut, but I would say like when other things in my life get in the way, then I find myself like, oh, Rox, sorry, I can't. I can't.
That's me as well. That's me with everything. Like if something in life is happening, like whether work is stressful or I don't know, family or relationships or whatever, or just personal, you know, not feeling it.
Yeah.
Like maybe you're a bit down for a while, like it affects it, right?
Another thing about the podcast is because we do video, we see ourselves too. So you can kind of see like, oh, is she feeling a bit off today?
Yeah.
Or is she like in a good mood? Like,
can you tell? But you can tell because you remember how you're feeling. But I don't know if other people can tell. I don't think other people can tell.
Probably not.
It's probably just you're like, oh yeah, I remember I was feeling like that then.
Yeah. Like, who is that zombie on
the
screen? Yeah. But yeah, I would say like, I just try and ride those waves and I try not to like burn myself out when I'm on that wave too. So I have to like kind of stop myself. Like, oh yeah, you've done enough. Like you got to just take a break now. But usually I would say that because we're working together, you're like my accountability partner as well as my podcast partner. So I do feel like because I have you on the other side, I know you'll be waiting for certain things. That definitely, I know you're not like
not all the time.
No, Rox never asks me for anything, but like
she's just waiting for me.
No, it's just like that pressure. That external pressure. I work really well like that, having an accountability partner. Yeah. So that's been working really great for me, and I just find time like maybe on the weekend or usually just after work, like after work, dinner and all that, and probably like before I sleep I might do some work on the podcast, and then some on the weekends. So that's how I've been sort of operating. I feel like because I've done other projects like on the side before, this doesn't feel too demanding. Yeah. To me, at least.
Because you had a really demanding side hustle before and very, well, I think we've talked about it, but not in detail about ramen parties because that it's different, right? Because maybe give like the time frame and like when you started and why you started it and I don't know with Ryudo and stuff like that. Yeah. Give me the story.
Yeah. So before the podcast, I guess I've always had lots of different like side projects and like side hustles or whatever you want to call it, by businesses or whatever you want to call it. I'd say like, the one big one that I was doing was like ramen parties. So it was called Ramen Party by Kiwami. We did it for 1.5 years. We were operating from our like rental home and basically we invited strangers to our place to eat ramen. / like dinner party vibes. And
would everyone know each other there or would it be like say me and a friend and then other randoms that got a ticket or something?
Yeah. So sometimes like you might bring 7 people. I would say like, oh, we have an 8-person limit or something like that. And then you'll know everyone. But sometimes it's really hard to bring like that many friends. Yeah. So you might ask like a friend's friend. Yeah. So you might actually not know everyone. Yeah. But they all kind of know each other. Yeah. It could be like that. Or if there was like a group of 4 and another group of 4, I might be like, okay, well, you guys are going to be with some other people you don't know.
And it's one big table?
Yeah. But I think eventually we decided to just keep it as like one group that kind of know each other. Otherwise, like that additional stress, like that
if they vibe or not. Yeah.
Because that's everything at the end of the night, like the vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Night. Yeah.
I wanted to butt in and ask, like, would you do like a ramen parties pop-up or like, you know, just a one-off? Because I know you guys haven't done it for a while. Or actually, fuck me, you haven't even talked about the whole story yet, and I'm already like asking the next question.
I'll answer your question.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah, because I do have an answer. The answer is we have done pop-up before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we've done it, and I even vlogged about it. It's like on Facebook somewhere. It's a really awkward video. But yeah, we did it at like a yakitori shop in my friend's restaurant called Yuripi in Crow's Nest in Sydney. Yeah, it's a yakitori shop, and they closed during lunchtime. So I asked, can I do a pop-up? And yeah, we used Eventbrite to like sell tickets, and I think we had like 40, 50 people. I can't remember.
That's a lot for a lunch.
Yeah, it was so.
That's a lot compared
stressful.
to 8.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot more ramen, broth, soup, and noodles. Like
it was like more of a logistics game than anything.
Yeah,
because we were like, okay, so then how many of
we need
like,
times
shallots do we need to
10.
buy, and how many like char siu rolls?
Yeah,
like how many kilos of meat do we need to buy?
Yeah.
It was just I left that side to Ryudo. That's my boyfriend. He was the chef, so that was also a partnership.
Yeah. So he had like wholesalers. He had wholesale contacts to get the ingredients and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
I would say like. Yeah, not really. I think in the end we just became friendly with like the butchers and the noodle people and stuff like that, but not really wholesale prices because you need volume. We both had similar goals in the sense that you wanted to create a brand.
Yeah.
And I think that was a goal for Ramen Party as well. Yes, we wanted to create like an amazing experience for our eater, but we also wanted to create a brand. Yeah. Like we wanted to tell a story and we wanted to like be able to have people talk about us and, you know, like be a topic of conversation and a place where people feel like, oh, that was an interesting experience.
Yeah. And it's a one-off experience. It's not like you can go there all the time and get the ramen again.
Yeah, because
so it's very special.
We were doing ramen parties once a week or sometimes twice a week. You have to book in advance.
Twice a week. You'd be so tired.
I was so tired. I feel like I'm still recovering. I think I'm still tired.
So what would you do if Rado was the chef?
I was basically doing what you were doing, book in. So I was doing all the socials. I was doing all the admin side, getting all the bookings in and setting up the table. I was also the waiter or the hostess. I would greet people. I was the customer facing. And Ryder was more just in the kitchen.
Yeah. Did you need to help prep any ingredients as well or not?
Yeah, I would. I would do a little bit of chopping.
Yeah. But Rado
did the bulk of it.
Wow.
So a big part of the work was actually shopping. Because if you work in a restaurant, most of the time they have things delivered to you.
After you order them.
Yeah. You just like contact suppliers.
They deliver it in the morning.
Yeah. Whereas like Ryder actually like to go out physically. Drive, shop for all the ingredients. Yeah. So that actually will take like a few hours and that's already like tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
So he did that side of things as well and prepping and then cooking during service. But yeah, I guess I was doing more of the other stuff.
Yeah.
So we had very split roles, like very divided roles.
Yeah. You're like front of house, business, marketing.
Yeah.
He's like the food.
Yeah. And also the reason why we wanted to do it is because my dream was actually to open up a cafe or a restaurant. And did I chat about that on our second episode too?
No, that got deleted. Because our audio or our video didn't work.
Oh, okay.
So we need to talk about go back to Japan.
Oh, yeah. I'll touch on that. Yeah, this story is so long. That's why I'm like, I need to hurry up because
No, you don't. No, you don't. I think this is could be our side hustle episode. Just go for it.
Yeah. Okay. So what was I up to? Yeah, we wanted to start our own cafe restaurant. I've always wanted to do my own business. You know, I worked, I think just because I've seen my parents do businesses, like they both have very, very small businesses here. And like I think I mentioned it on episode 2, a career change episode.
Yeah, you did.
Having a career was never, I didn't even understand that. Like I didn't understand why people did it.
You wanted your own business.
Yeah, I just thought that was the norm. Like create a business, like do something.
Makes sense. Like you are quite business minded.
oh, but I mean, I can be, but I'm not making any like, you know, money. But yeah, in terms of like being in that space, that's where I felt like, oh yeah, this is fun, like it's normal. And then yeah, obviously now I've changed my mind. I'm like, actually having a career is great. But yeah, I've always wanted to open my own restaurant, and I thought, okay, well, if I want to do that, I don't want to just open up a restaurant or a cafe because that's like, firstly, really scary and lots of costs are involved. And yeah, like I just didn't think it was it was super risky. So that's why I thought, okay, why don't we what can we do now with the resources that we have to take us where we want to be? I found like a location because we were always location scouting for a cafe space. And we found this location, and I remember like saying to Ryoto, who was also in hospitality, he was like making coffee, he was a barista. I said, hey, this space is like really, really good. And at the time we were only looking for cafes. And I said, oh, I think this location will actually be really good for a ramen shop. And I think ramen shops will be easier for us to run in a way because there's not a lot of ramen shops in Sydney right now. There's only like 2 popular ones at the moment. I just think like there'll be more hype around it, and it's just like it'll be more special than, you know,
another
cafes.
Cafe. Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, the cafes are very saturated at that point. So I was like, yeah, I think we've missed the way for the cafes. I think we should do a ramen shop. And then I actually went on exchange to Japan in 2011, and I met a ramen shop owner.
This story. Yeah.
And yeah, we just kept going to this ramen shop up the road, and oh my God, the ramen was so good.
What type of ramen?
So the ramen that I always got was the kara miso ramen, which is the spicy miso ramen. And he has this like, it's spicy and it's so good. Like the flavors, it just blew my mind. And I was in Sapporo, which is like super snowy. And can you just, you know, when you just
like a spicy hot ramen
on a snowy day,
Yum.
just hits different, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my God.
And the soup as well. Like, I think that's every part of the ramen is great. Like the soup, the noodle, and the chashu or whatever meat it was. But like every element is so comforting.
Yeah. What
It's just the best combo. What more do you want?
Exactly.
You know, on a cold day, you know, indoors, it's snowing outside.
Yeah.
Like, I can just imagine it.
It was so good. And honestly, I gained so much weight, like from eating so much ramen.
Right. It's like, what happened?
And my mum was like, what happened? Why are you like so heavy? So yeah, me and my like exchange student friends, we still keep going there. And like, he was just so funny. He's like such a character. And we love that he would always speak to us in Japanese because everyone else would try and speak to us in English. And then he would just be like whatever to us in Japanese. And I'm like, what is he saying? Cool.
But then it made you learn more.
Yeah, so we kind of went there to like practice our Japanese as well. And I remember saying to him, I said, you know, I have a dream to like open up my own shop. If I ask for your recipe, would you give it to me? He's like, I'm happy to open a shop in like Sydney. I'm like, yeah. So I honestly didn't know. Like, I mean, I said it as a joke, but then half serious too because I've always wanted to open up something up.
He must have really liked you, like as in, you know, a good relationship. And
so not just me, but my other exchange student friends. Like I had one friend who was an animator, 3D animator, and he in the end like made like a little 3D animation movie about him.
Wow.
It's really good as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then I have another friend who actually, I don't think Frida listens to the podcast, but like my friend who illustrated this picture book, she was also on exchange with me, and she like created all these like artworks around him.
Oh, okay.
So everyone was really close. Yeah. And like quite creative as well. And when we left Japan, he came to greet us at the airport and we all cried.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's like a really big gesture. That's like family does that.
He's like family. Yeah. Actually, another thing is he closed the restaurant one night and he invited us over and just made food for us. and then we drank and we went to karaoke.
Wow, that is so cute.
By the way, he was like, we were like young 20s.
Yeah.
He was like 50 something.
Yeah.
So we had this big age gap, big language barrier, but we were all just really good friends.
That's amazing. That's like such a nice story to come out of your exchange.
Yeah. I think it's like you don't even notice it when you're there.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, you're like, that was actually really special.
Special.
Really special. Yeah. So back to the location
recipe.
hunting.
Oh,
I was
location.
like, yeah, right. This location, cafe, yeah, but ramen. I think it'll be the perfect ramen like shop.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, we don't have a recipe. Like we don't know how to make ramen. And I was like, well, why don't we just ask Master-san, like our ramen, the ramen dude, like why don't we ask Master-san if he can teach us how to make the kara miso ramen, because it is the best ramen we've ever had. And then Ryder was like, oh, do you think he would teach it to us?
Yeah.
Like, it just makes no sense because he's in Sapporo. We're all the way here.
Mm-hmm.
Ryder's only met Master-san like twice at that point. And I hadn't talked to Master-san in a few years as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Ryder's like, do you think he will? And I was like, I don't know. So
We'll
I
ask.
messaged him. Oh, another thing. When I was on exchange, one thing that I did before we left was we created a Facebook account for him.
Oh, yeah.
This is when Facebook was like pretty
Just
big.
started.
Pretty big.
Started for a few years. Yeah.
And people will like upload photos and stuff. And I was like, you have to get on Facebook. Basically, like he taught himself. Our friend taught him how to use Facebook, but then he eventually got really into it. And he was using that a lot for like actually promoting his restaurant as well.
Yeah.
So thanks to that, like we could easily message him and be like, hey, how are you? Whatever. So we messaged him and said, oh, can you like teach us your ramen recipe? And then he said, yeah, sure. Like, why not?
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, Ryder booked a ticket. Actually, I booked a ticket. I was like, Ryder, you're flying to Japan.
He's like, okay.
This is a little bit pushy of me now in hindsight. I actually paid for the plane ticket for him to go to Japan to learn the recipe and come back.
Yeah.
So he was there for like 10 days. And
working.
that
Pretty
is
much
another-
working.
Yeah. That's another podcast episode in itself because that was like a really interesting experience for him.
Yeah. He should, come back and talk about it. I want to know. Yeah.
And then he came back and he made the recipe. And then he came back with the recipe and we sort of realized we can't really open a shop because it's like so expensive.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, well, we have this recipe and I really want to eat the ramen. Like, we started making the ramen. And then like a housemate at the time, she would eat it. But then with ramen, you always make a bit more. So we started inviting like some friends, be like, hey, this is the ramen that we've been talking about this whole time. And more friends wanted to try it. And that was when Insta story was kind of a thing. And my friend sort of suggested like, hey, why don't you just like get people to pay for it?
Yeah.
Because like
to have it at your place.
Up, like buying ramen for all our friends.
It adds up. Like when you cooking anything at home from scratch can cost like depending on what you're making, but it can add up.
Yeah, if there's like seafood or meat, it adds up.
Yeah. Time. Yeah.
A lot of time was getting into it. So I just put the idea out there and we just started collecting money. And then that's sort of how this whole ramen party thing started. And then it just kept evolving. Like we created like an Instagram account for it. We used a scheduling tool so people can book sessions in. So I don't have to like back and forth and stuff like that. And and that evolved into like a year and a half. Like that just went on for a year and a half and friends eventually started inviting other friends and it got to a point where we had people we don't know. And people would actually like refer to me as the ramen party girl. Oh, that's the ramen party girl.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
That was my identity for a while, but now I'm the podcast girl.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, that was that, and that was like so. I actually had no social life
because you were working. You were working in hospitality at the time as well, so you're just like full hospo mode.
Yeah,
like cafe, day job, and then ramen party on the side.
Did you know what I would used to do? I'll come home.
That's so tiring.
I'll come home from my cafe job.
Sleep.
I'll sleep on the train and then I'll lie on the floor in my bedroom or in my bed.
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes just on the floor and I'll just put the alarm on for like 20 minutes or something, and then I'll just like take like a power nap. And sometimes I would just be like napping just before the people come, because I'll be like just so physically tired. I'm
okay.
just so
Well, meanwhile, Ryodo was prepping earlier.
Yeah, because he worked a little bit less than me. Like he had a very physical job, but he had one less working day.
Yeah, so he could cook during the day, but then, dude, the 20-minute nap sounded hard. And you also, as the host, you need to have the energy, and you're like greeting people and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I am an extrovert.
Okay,
so
yeah, that's
easy.
Come, you're like
I actually get really excited, and you get to meet heaps of cool people.
Yeah.
And the people that come to the ramen party
are so excited.
Yeah, and it's like the cool people, because they're like,
they want to eat the ramen.
They want to eat the ramen. They want to experience it. Yeah. So there's already like a common ground. So it was always really, really fun, and got to meet so many interesting people. Like, it was really great. You can check it out.
I wish I went when it happened, but I remember seeing the stories
on socials.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can check it out on Ramen Party by Kiwami on Instagram, because all of the I used to like always do Insta stories when people would come, and I would do like the behind the scenes, like, the setup and like the cooking BTS shots, and I'll include all that, and always try and make a bit of a story each night.
Yeah.
And that's still all there.
It's nice to like go back and have a look at it, right?
It's a little bit cringy, because I'm like,
cringy?
Because I put my face in it. I'm like, hey guys, like, we're doing ramen party today, and da 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 da. We got 8 guests. Like,
you're good at it.
Well, I had to really put myself out there, but I'm glad I did, because I think that's made this whole podcast whole thing like much easier.
True. So you guys make a good team as well, like you and Ryudo. Was it hard at all? Like, do you feel like you guys have a really good working partnership as well as
I think it was hard. Definitely got hard at certain points where he probably felt like he was doing more, and I think he was. Can't deny it. But I was
being a chef is hard.
And we were both so tired. We're both so tired, and it's hard for me to, in a sense, like, because I'm customer facing, so if something goes wrong, like if the food's taking forever to come out,
you don't know how to deal with it.
Everyone was always so polite and so nice, so it was okay. But because I was dealing with that side of things, it was kind of hard. But overall, when you just look back and you only remember the good stuff.
Yeah.
Looking back at everything with like a lens, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it was fun, but it was tough.
Yeah. I just love that story.
Yeah, it is a good story. Like, even I'm like, wow, that was cool. But you know what makes it?
But it was hard.
Good?
Yeah. What?
It's like the risk. Like, Ryder flying over to Japan.
Yeah.
That's we knew.
Who the hell would
crazy
think
at
that?
The time.
It's a crazy idea.
It was crazy. I mean, the risk was low. What's the worst that could happen? If anything, you're going to have a great holiday and get to, have bonding time with Master-san.
Yeah.
But it's just like those sort of crazy, like, things that you just sometimes need to jump on.
Yeah.
I think those kind of make those interesting stories.
Yeah. Because it's unexpected and you didn't even plan on that. Yeah, I like that you said that in hindsight, things were really tough. Like, but then you do, when you think about that time, it's like, it was worth it. Like, those tough times at the time, you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Just want to sleep, blah, blah, blah. And then you get through it. And then, but looking back, it's still like, wow, I did that.
Exactly.
Right? Like, even if it didn't become a ramen restaurant, blah, 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 like what you initially thought, it's still like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's
achievement already.
Well, you said it so well. Like, I feel at the time, when I say it's tough, it was more physically draining.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was still really fun. And I felt it was cool.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, that's really cool, that thing that you're doing. And I attached a lot of my identity to that as well. I'm like, oh, I'm doing a cool thing. But now, like, when I look back, I do have this, like, still, like, oh, wow, that was a really... I feel proud. I still have that feeling. And even Ryodo, like, he's also looking back at all the photos and all the videos, and he said, like, probably 1 year after we stopped, he's like, hey, Ramen Party was really cool. Like, he didn't even know what was happening.
Because he was so busy too, like, doing it and
just doing.
When you reflect back, it's, you know, you kind of romanticize things, but also it was a good experience, right?
And I think the power, like a sort of powerful learning for me is you might be like, oh, this is why Julia is so like this. But it's basically like the power of goal setting is so, it's just everything. With Ramen Party, our goal was to create a brand and something different. And that is what we did. Whereas if our goal was to create a brand where people would like make, like where we can have a sustainable business, it would have been different. And I feel like that would have been the goal that we hit. So yeah, in a way, it was a project that was only going to last 1.5 years because
that
it was
the goal.
Actually not sustainable.
Yeah.
Like couldn't keep going at it. So yeah, I think like the goal that you set in the beginning, what is it? Is it to create a brand or is it to make a bit of money? Like what is the bigger goal? I think like, and having that laser focus is so crucial. Because basically when I look back, I'm like, oh my God, I actually hit all my goals.
Yeah.
And I've lived my dreams out.
Yeah.
Even this podcast, like this is the dream, right? Like we wanted this. And sometimes you don't even realize like you're living
the dream.
Like,
I can't believe
right
you
now.
said that to me like just now. And I'm like, I'm living the dream.
You
like
are.
I am, because I'm always the type that's like, I'm
You
not
want
living the
more?
dream. Like I'm always, which is not good. Like I feel like I need to be more present, like everyone says, and appreciate what I have now. But it's like I'm always like when I get there, or when I had a goal and I'm like, okay, I'm in this next thing now, like, and then I'm like, what's next? This isn't the dream. What's the next dream?
Yeah.
Like I will always like think of the next dream and not realize, oh, I'm actually, this is what I wanted. Like
we've arrived.
Couple years ago,
Yeah.
I'm here, you know, and then, but yeah, thanks for reminding me that I am living the dream, apparently.
You can listen to this episode
I'm living the dream.
on your walk.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think that's another thing. It's like there are so many different dreams that you can have, and like you said, it's almost like those goals, right? Like it's okay to have different dreams and at different times, and you know, reaching them or not, or you know, coming back to them later, or realizing the dream in a different way to what you thought it was, right? Like yeah, so not the traditional way of I don't know.
Yeah, even
whatever
like
it is.
me wanting to open up my own restaurant.
Yeah.
I've lived that dream out because my home was my restaurant. I didn't do it the typical way, but I made it happen. And so I have closure with that dream.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of like with me and Ken, it's like I have a brand of my own, or a clothing brand of my own, and you know, it's not, you know, a physical store, but it's still something that's living, and I'm having fun with it. Yeah. And it's like this podcast. We're not on, you know, we're not the biggest, you know, podcast right now.
But that was never really our goal, right?
That's true. But sometimes then when you said we have to, you know, it's about the goal, right? Then have I been making the wrong goals? Not the wrong goals. There's no wrong or right, but why are my goals not more money driven, for example?
That's what I've been realizing. Sorry, I just hit Rox's hand. I just got excited.
It was so funny because it's like, oh, that's what I think too.
Seriously, we're living parallel lives.
No, because that's the struggle. That's the struggle. Even with Ken, or even with podcast or anything, it's like when you're driven by money, it can be, the authenticity might be lost, maybe. And then they always say that if you do what you love, the money will come, right? That's what they say. But for now, I'm just having a lot of fun doing our podcast and honing in on our content, I think, and working on our new goals. But what did you want to say about the finance part?
No, I was going to say that's the realization that I've had, that have I been setting the wrong goals?
Yeah.
Because I think in the back of my mind, I wanted that financial, goal to be hit.
Yeah.
But that was like in the back of my mind, and I thought, well, if you put what you want to do
in the front of your mind,
the money will follow. Exactly what you said. But I think that's not true.
Yeah.
I think
you need to put money at the front if you want the money.
It has to be equal with, the other goal, the more like wholesome goal. So you got the wholesome goal, and then you got the money-driven goal.
Yeah.
You got to equally.
They have to complement each other.
They do. So obviously,
like if you had a good product, you would have, and marketing and blah, blah, blah. You'd get the money.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like with the money, if your only goal was money-driven, then you will get a bit of a weird product and a weird, it'll be obvious.
Yeah.
But we're not saying, you don't have to go extreme like that. You can have both, like the money and the wholesome goal.
Yeah.
At the forefront.
It's definitely a struggle.
It is. Because once you make the financial goal part of the goal and part of the strategy, then it actually changes things, and it changes your decision making along the way as well.
Yeah.
Because, for example, this podcast, we do a very like long format. It's chilled, but we don't really think like, oh, what is going to get us a sponsor? We don't really think like that. But maybe if we did, maybe then, it would change the way we maybe structure our podcast or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just about getting that balance right. But if that isn't part of the goal, then it's not going to come.
So it's time for our segment,
Get Nourished.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a new segment that we've introduced to our podcast episode where we try different Asian soups. And today...
Each episode,
Yeah. And today we have a Korean soup that I've brought.
Yeah.
This one is called... I'm just like salivating. I'm so sorry.
Okay, it smells really good.
It's called 우거지 해장국.
우거지 해장국.
Ugoji, I think that's the name of the veggie. It's kind of like some kind of cabbage, I think.
Yeah. Is it like it smells like a fermented or salted cabbage?
It's actually the miso, I think. Doenjang.
Oh, okay.
The Korean miso that's in there. That's giving off that fermented smell. And then it's 해장국 means actually like hangover soup.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is kind of like a hangover soup.
Okay.
I don't know. It's not the typical hangover soup. Actually, maybe it is. I don't know. Don't quote me on it.
One of.
Yeah, the literal translation is cabbage hangover soup, and it's made out of like beef ribs, I believe, and the bones create the base flavor.
Yeah.
I've brought rice and some kimchi as well.
Yay.
Because they're essentials. You would eat it like that.
Together. Okay. Cool.
So let's dig in.
Very excited. There's a bit of, it's not spicy, but there's a bit of spice in there.
Yeah, there's some chili flakes.
Okay.
You could definitely get this at a Korean restaurant. I feel like this isn't something that you would really cook so much at home.
But I've had like beef soups and stuff, but maybe I can't tell the difference. But I don't think I've had this one with this type of veggie.
You could definitely order this at like a Korean soup restaurant.
And this cabbage is like fresh cabbage?
No, it's not cabbage. It's like some type of green, but I don't really know exactly what the name is. I'm going to eat it with some rice.
This is so delicious. Thank you for bringing this in. I just feel like this is so motivating just to meet up and have some soup together. What is this?
And I love like learning about new soups.
Yeah, this is so yummy. How often do you have this one at home? Like, is this one of your favorites, or what kind of memories are associated with this soup for you?
Well, my mum doesn't know how to cook this soup at all. So I actually have no like childhood memories with it. But lately, there's a lot of like panchan shops popping up around Sydney. Panchan is like basically side dishes and You can buy soups there.
You guys
basically
are
anything.
like, Korean side dishes are like the best. Like, I don't know if there's any other culture with so many
That's true.
side dishes.
Panchan is everything.
Like, that could be the meal. I remember in
It
Hong
is.
Kong, if we find a good Korean place, we base it off the panchan, and we're like, that's worth it. Like, we have to go there because they have really good side dishes and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Because the side dishes are free most of the time.
it's like
they're always
it's
free.
all you could get full from that.
Yeah, you can. So these panchan shops have all these like different soups. And lately I've been like shopping a lot there. And this is one of the soups that's always available. So I've been eating it more through the panchan shops. But yeah, I really like this one because it's not
Delicious.
thick. It's like very easy to eat. And I love any soups with cabbage.
I'm gonna have a bite of the rice. Even though
Oh, you can eat like half the rice. This is like way too much. It's good with the kimchi.
does your mum make her own kimchi or you buy it?
She makes it sometimes, but she's more of a buyer. Yeah.
I remember hearing from a friend that how to say it? It's like very common to have a kimchi fridge at home, right? In Sydney or Sydney Korean Australians.
Yeah, we used to have one, but not anymore. But they're really good. Because like kimchi, there's so many different types of kimchi.
Yeah. This is so delicious.
I'm glad you like it.
It's really good with the kimchi. You're right. It's like extra kick. But the flavor of this is already like quite distinct with the miso and the beef. Like you said, like the base.
And it's funny because this soup, my mum's friend actually made it. Just gifted it to us. I feel like it happens a lot. My mum's friends just like makes food, like extra dumplings or something, and then they'll give you, like, just gift it to you. Do you get that?
It's like your family kind of thing. But do you what happens with the Tupperware?
They'll normally just like put it in a disposable.
Oh, okay.
Like dumplings will just come in a plastic
Oh,
bag.
yeah. I mean, with my family, probably it's more so like relatives, but I don't have that many relatives in Sydney. I only have one auntie, so it doesn't happen that much. But then friends and stuff on my parents' side, when they have gatherings, I think it happens. But yeah, not as much as I think it would. I think,
Yeah.
as you say, you know, your mum's friend just brings it around.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys, for tuning in to another episode of the Asian Soup Podcast. We hope you found it to be interesting, nourishing,
Inspiring, maybe.
I don't know, did I say interesting?
Yeah.
Always, grateful to everyone who's listened to the end.
Yeah.
Don't forget to DM us or, engage with us on our socials at Asian Soup Podcast.
Yeah, share any stories you might have about your side hustles, side projects, anything interesting that comes to mind. We're happy to listen. And yeah, it was great chatting today.
We'll see you in the next one, I guess.
Yeah, see you soon.
Bye.